What's up, brother?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. Where are you from?
I'm from Germany. My name is Philipp Trier. Loccomotivetattoos is my studio. I'm here for showing you guys a very good tool, a new tool. It's called StandStill, and it's my invention.
Let's take a little walk and you can tell me a little bit about it. So how did you come up with this?
I come up with StandStill when I was working constantly and trying to improve myself as a tattoo artist. So did my research on other ways, projecting like images to the skin, images to, as a concept. And that's why I found out and just established a process of a different way to stencil the body.
Man, I think that's awesome. I think it's anytime you can think of something to help tattooers make better tattoos, I think we're on the right track.
A new way always offers you new possibilities, and maybe you discover new horizons.
I agree with you. So today you're actually going to give us a demo of your product. Why don't you take us to the shop and we'll follow you through, man.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
During the last years, I tried to improve my tattooing always on the skillful side, just making more versatile and more detailed work on the body. So from year to year, I got a little bit better, and the requests of the tattoo pictures that I should make got more detailed and more big, and they got more difficult for me to set it on the skin. And there was always this problem that the higher the details I have to project on the body and the more details are included, I had a little bit of struggle to have really a clear view of my concept, because as everybody knows in this room, in stenciling with a conventional transfer paper, not everything is always very smooth. When it comes to seamless borders around the body, you have a hard time trying to find the finish to the beginning and that everything fits perfectly. And especially with large scale tattoos, I had an issue with my time management. I'm not clumsy. I'm not a clumsy guy. I try to work very exact, but it was always a rush. If you have a complex like back piece in stenciling and you want to do the outlines in the first session, you always have to collect all the sheets together, just glue them or fold them together, and then you put the stencil stuff on, and then you have to hurry because on the back, on the upper part, the stencil stuff is still like liquid and good to transfer, and on the lower part it's maybe getting too dry too quick, and if the client moves a little bit and you apply the stencil paper normally to the back, it was always a little bit of a guessing. Did I reach the middle of the back where the skin goes a little bit deep? And when I peeled off the paper, it was a normal process to redraw some details, and you have to take another maybe half an hour to correct the stencil. And with all these points getting leveling up with the requests that I received and which I was able to tattoo actually, the transferring process always stays on the same level. I always have to lift it up with more work or with more stress, or I have to lift it up on the same level as my tattooing skills with more like improvisation, like compromises. Okay, I will draw that freehand, or okay, this can't be transferred with a stencil paper. So I made my research because I have an art printing background. That was the first art design and printing, like fine line printing. That's what I learned after school. And I have heard of several methods to transfer projections or prints to different surfaces. I did my research on similar material which I knew back from when I was a craftsman in printing, and the same attributes, but they all has to be harmless. So I made my research on the medical field. I searched for wound dressings, I searched for medical devices, I searched for pharma devices and stuff like that, and I found out that there was an invention back in the 1960s which is called polymeric alcohol. So basically this stuff is made of alcohol, but it's just another aggregate. It's not liquid and it's not creamy, but it's made, you can make also from alcohol as a ground ingredient, you can also produce films. And you all have already this in your body because it's also wrapped around medical devices. The vitamin C drops and pills and stuff like that. So actually you can eat it. And then it disappears. Because as you recognize, once you put the pill in your body, you're realizing when it gets in your mouth and you swallow it, then it disappears. And the vitamin C is getting through the belly and stomach in the body. So this is a similar material. And then I got more research on it and found out that it's also used, and this is very sensitive, it's also used in surgeries, because back in the days they tried to find out how to wound dress burnings on the skin, like 2nd and 3rd degree. They came up with polymeric alcohol because if it's thicker, you can protect the burned skin, and it will disappear from time to time in the bloodstream and in the liquids from the body, and then you can clean the wound, get over to other treatments. But in the first sensitive moments, they use polymeric alcohol. So it is used in several very sensitive areas in surgeries and wound dressings and stuff. So after I done this research, I was quite sure that tattooing should be okay. Yeah. And I don't want to ask for the other system, but in my mind, in my opinion, I didn't receive that much information about a normal thermal transfer paper. And once I get the information about this, I was quite sure I'm using the normal conventional transfer paper, and I think it's okay because actually nobody died in my studio or had poisoning. But I don't really know what's in it. If the process of warming it up through the thermal transfer paper, transfer printer, I mean, it gets a lot of heat, and then the molecular structure of this violet pigment and the paraffin in it could get a little bit different than when it's tested when it's not heated. But these are all questions just to make myself sure, okay, you're using a material here which is really tested in a higher sensitive area. And then I tried to find a way to have a safe fixation for the skin, where I took the, what's fluster called? There's a liquid sprayed band-aid, you know that? If you have tiny stretches, you can spray these things on it so that it can heal up. This is basically this stuff, and it's perfectly for me because now I have not this stress and hesitation. If I spray the back piece, it's constantly sticky. And then, if you imagine here is the back piece, I just spray it. I don't have to put the whole things together. I can print sheet by sheet, and then I add, maybe if it's a big face or a Kali mask, like the right part of the Kali mask, and I take another layer and find out where's the right spot. I can correct right in the middle. I can see if it touches the skin, even in the move, and then I add on, and then I don't have the stress maybe to ruin the stencil and produce it new. So I can actually now work with the minimum amount of material to have a good stencil on the body. And we tried it for 1 year. In our studio, kept it very quiet, because right away when I found out that this system is quite working and my tattoo results are not going down, I got even more inspired, because with a new material they are suddenly opening doors, because now you can maybe like make a negative portrait on someone's body, spray liquid over it, and then you have these negative ink drops on it. So creatively there are new ways now possible, or you can print out a very accurate design and then you spray it a little bit with disinfection and it gets more smooth, and then you can pull it over the skin, so you have like of melting image. You can, so this is a new way. If you're courage enough or if you're interested, you can try out new designs. Maybe your client is open and you can make new, like art. So this is also a very good attribute of this. And then I found out, or then I tried of everything during the patent process. I applied for a patent in Germany and for international patent. And during the process, you have to give the officials all the classifications and the testings, because of course you can give me a patent where there is harmful things to the body, when the usability is not good for the society or for the clients in which I'm registering the patent, it would be declined. But this part was perfect, and they said, you're ready to go. And so there was a third party testing it, which we're very happy when we get the results. And then there's also the printing process included. And in Europe, is all the big brands, they not were forced, but they agreed to the inkjet, when it comes to the inkjet printer ink, that they're all water-based and without any ingredients that can be harmful to the body. So basically it's water, pigment, and like glycerin, which is very close to our tattoo ink. As everybody knows, and I don't want to blame it for that because I did it for myself before I invented this, it's quite harmless to the body than permanent markers. And I think all good artists, which is a very tiny amount of it, but everybody has used permanent markers, and there are benzol in it because it should last on different surfaces for waterproofing skills. And these are, if you have a higher amount of it, quite harmful for the body, which is inkjet printer ink is not. So they have all agreed to be REACH compliant in Europe. So all ingredients in this process, just to say it as the first thoughts, I made sure that the whole process is totally harmless for the body, and that it's not as the rumors in the internet when somebody takes a quick look on videos or reels, they just see the material and directly they parallel it with plastic. But it's not, because if I ate plastic, it would be still in my mouth. So it's basically alcohol. Yeah, but we have to deal with that because if somebody only watches a reel and makes his opinion out of it, just what he sees without reading maybe the description or something like that, then it's okay. But we're not here to defend skeptics or guesses. We can always talk about real experience about it because as a company, of course, we have to make sure everything is safe. Yeah. So as a first effect, I want to show you that now, of course, everything is possible. Lauren is the one who's getting tattooed now, and it's diverse because it's very versatile. If you have a favorite color as a contrast to your tattooing ink, now you can choose any color. Whatever the inkjet printer is offering you. You can make the same design in green, so you can see your black work, where you have been tattooed and where you still have to tattoo, or like in blue, in a lighter blue, in red. You can get back to the used to violet, of course, that it comes close to a conventional stencil. I will show you some possibilities to make quick like regulations or quick improvements with it, and all the advantages in positioning without cleaning, and all the corrections will be very fast and not a big deal. And after that, I will, when it's okay, I will show you maybe some good effects, what is possible right now to skip some work steps, which are usually in the process of getting ready for a tattoo, getting the image ready to be projected to the skin. In the normal tattooing process, of course, first you have to use disinfection. Everybody in the studio or worldwide, I hope, are using disinfection. So you make sure that with the disinfection, the surface of the skin you get rid of the little layer of fat. There's always a protection layer on the skin, and you have to get rid of it because then the skin is quite dry. We will tattoo this area right here a little bit with an angle because she doesn't want it right in the middle, like more dynamic style. Okay. After you cleaned the spot with the disinfection, then it's time for the adhesive spray. You don't need, I'll show another aspect. Due to the fact that it's transparent, you can now check out what is the best position, and you can also show the client what your thoughts are or what her thoughts are in this case, and you can reapply very quickly to please or to intervene if something is not really perfect, like 100%. And that I have to say also, we as a tattooer, of course, I know the moment that when I realized that stenciling is so difficult in some bigger or large scale cases, and I don't want to force anybody to agree with me or to be honest with that at that point, but I had in my tattooing career somehow the points when I placed a complex stencil, and if I got it 100%, I would have taken it totally off, clean everything, have a really big mess with green soap and get rid of it. So I corrected it a little bit, but it was not 100% perfect. But nevertheless, I tattoo it because the other process would take me so long time, I would never finish it that day. But now you are free from that thinking. You can readjust, and you can always like give it 100% from when it comes to positioning, because it's not a big deal to peel it off and position it again. So now first I would take a, due to the fact it's transparent, you can check out the angle. You can also switch the sides because it's tattooable from both sides, all right? And then of course there are skin marks like this, and if the client says you have to avoid the skin marks, I can strategically also place my stencil that I avoid all the skin marks. So the skin doctor can control all the differences from last year and stuff like that. So for some people this is very important, and now you can very quick adjust the position. I think it should look forward, and we will give it a little angle like this here, and then it can be good for itself. So
You can move around.
yeah, you can also, if you want to ask the client if it's good for her or him, you can also not use the full amount of adhesive spray. You can just make it a little bit sticky. You can see here when it gets a little bit mirroring, how we call this, is shiny. Once it gets a little bit shiny, this is not that much. You can also apply it on the skin. As you can see, there are no marks. You can peel it off without cleaning, repositioning it. Make sure there's not that much tension, although it is good for tension, and you can fold it around something, but it doesn't destroy the stencil, so you can reuse it. And if I want to ask, or if she wants to get an impression of how the tattoo may look like later, I just make a tiny layer of adhesive spray, and now she can take a look, and if we both say, yeah, that's nice, that's okay, then I will begin with the higher amount of adhesive spray so that it's solid for the tattooing process. All right? So do you let me decide where the perfect angle is, or will you take, or do you want to take a look?
You decide. Like I said, as long as it's not just
All right.
dead smack on the side,
All right.
you decide.
That's good. All right. So I just peel it off. There is no cleaning necessary. And then I begin with a solid layer of the adhesive. You can see for a little moment it's a wet shiny. And make sure all the spots of the skin have adhesive. That's definitely a good layer. Then you give it a calm dry. You can wait for, that's the good thing about it. You don't have to hurry now, because you can wait, make the process short because you want to start tattooing, so you have to wait like for 10, maybe 8 seconds. But if something happens now, the bell rings or the telephone rings and you have to make a quick answer for a new client showing up, it doesn't affect the stickiness. Also at the back piece, you can take your time on the upper part. The lower part will be still sticky. You don't have to hurry. You can take your time, find a good position. Start, avoid this here, a little bit more angle. Just lay it down, give it a light push. Even now, if you want to correct it a little bit here, just peel it off to here, and you can adjust a little bit. As long as you put in your hand from side to side. You could also tattoo right now through it, but to make it even more soft and just an not recognizable layer of your concept, and having a very good smooth tattooing process through this, due to the fact that it's alcohol, it reacts if you add liquid alcohol with it. So you can use the disinfection spray, but you have to make sure not to put on big drops because it's highly water soluble, and you should in the first lining process, always work with dry towels and a lot of ointment, because the film is stable to ointments. So it won't disappear with oil, with ointments, with hustle butter. It stays always stable. It even is stable to gasoline and stuff. Now take a good look how the effect is coming up, because now it's a little bit stiff and shiny, and once I'm beginning to spray a layer of liquid disinfection, you will see that it dims down and it nearly disappears. You can't even see where the film begins and where the skin, or where the film ends and the skin begins. So it's getting more flexible, more thin. That should be enough. You can dry it a little bit, and now you can see it's a good stable stencil on the body. It projects all the fine line stuff. I will show later more fine line and detailed stencil stuff, which is close to impossible to project with a conventional stencil, due to the fact that there is always a kind of a wet surface and you can't really see through if it smudges or not. So here you have the perfect image. You can stretch it for tattooing, you can squeeze it, and still you could change the position. If you're now in this already activated transfer film, if you're very carefully, you still can change the position without cleaning. And at this state, we are ready to tattoo. Shall I start with tattooing, or is there any questions? I will start with dot work.
You want to move it? Show us so you can move it?
Yet now move it? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. The good thing about it is, if you recognize during bigger tattoo apply or a bigger concept, you can always reapply the disinfection. If you like fixate the concept on the whole leg and you start tattooing on the upper leg, of course the disinfection spray will disappear a little bit from the adhesive, from the stencil transfer film, but it's no problem to reapply a soft mist of disinfection. And the other thing is, sometimes if you're not in a hurry, but there are very hard to reach body parts, movable body parts, there can be the problem that not everybody is perfect in applying stickers to hard to reach parts. And then there can be the moment where there is a little bit of tension on the surface of the film. But due to the fact that it's highly water soluble, to get rid of the tension, you just water a corner of a paper towel. And if you see here the cracks, you just push the water towel on it and they will disappear. And then you get rid of the tension. Now it's settled and flat, and as you can see here, it's just perfect, smooth on the skin. Okay, smudging. This is solid, it's not like irritated. I will take a quick line here so you can watch. So it's kind of, if you're a skillful tattooer, you will have no problems tattooing through it. Of course, this is not for beginners. I always say this, it's for advanced tattooers. It won't take, this is a very, very important quote. The transfer film is offering you possibilities, and you can improve, because now you can project highly definition images to the skin, which are recommended. You can settle your color management on the film because it's multiple color printable and stuff like that, but it doesn't take away the work from you as a tattooer. You still have to adjust your skills, because now you're tattooing through an extra layer, and if you skip some important work steps during putting it on the skin, maybe using less adhesive spray, maybe just making a rush out of it and pushing the transfer film in the wet adhesive and stuff like that, you will have problems. You have to get used to the workflow, but then you have all the advantages. All right? But we will do more education in the next times, and if you listen to it properly, you will get right away an idea how to use it. So I'm making here kind of a mixed image of the leaves, because one leaf shall be in the background later. Oh, okay, sorry. Just change and fill it. No, it's okay. It's better?
Okay.
You can come also a little bit more down if you're falling off in front.
Now we're fine up here.
All right. So one here, these leaves shall be lightened up to the top because they're more in the background. And of course there's the idea, why do you only do the outlines? Can you already begin with shading? Because some people doing their dots around the leaf and then right away fill it. Of course this is possible. I have a clear view, and of course now I can fill the whole leaf directly. But for me, my personal workflow is I make all the effects in outline style, and then I just work a little bit individually to give the person or the client just like a very unique design of the flower of the concept, okay? So I'm doing here some small and tiny leaves. Clean. You can also always see where the line ends, so you can add them on. If it ends here, you dab it, then you see where it ends, and then you can continue.
You're gonna do a portrait, for example, you don't have to do a portrait on color, you have to go out of the space in a different layer the stencil space.
I do also just dry wipe it. And again, I know some people are used to, back in the days, to see already the finished result of your line. But if you keep it clean, you can get a good view if your line is okay or not. And once there are 1-2 lines who are a little bit more not that solid, you can readjust in seconds. Just dip the needle again on the corner of the line or stuff, and it's perfect again. So this is not really a big deal. But of course, in the first time, you have to be constantly in a clean workflow. This is for dot work, and I think this is the perfect example for everybody who wants to give it a try, because dot work, you have so much control over your ink flow. You don't have to be afraid that maybe there is too much ink on it. So this is quite an easy game with a lot of control. And as you can see, due to the color which I chose, I can see perfectly, even if there's tiny dots. It would be quite hard seeing this in a little bigger violet stencil. If I have like a good distance from the dot, just put it away. No pressure. If you do dot work, like here, I will show you. You can find the end of the, and you just peel it off. Because during dot work, it still stays solid. You can just peel it off. As you can see, there's the dot work there where I tried to, or where I began to fill it. And remember, this is a very tiny needle. I just wanted to show, so I did not that solid lines. Don't expect now that there is a total solid outlined version of it. I just wanted to show that the surface is not destroying these tiny sensitive needles. So you just water a towel with green soap, put it on the transfer film to make sure that it disappears from the first wipe. I also water the upper part, and I wait for a couple of seconds, and you will see right away the effect that the polymeric alcohol is disappearing, and only the lines of the tattoo concept is the result. And then I can go on with the shadings and all the other stuff. Here's the whip shading, which I done, the light one through the surface, and here is the start of the dot work which I did. Here are the tiny structures in the middle of the flower. So basically, for a fine line, light tattoo outlining, it worked perfect. And I think every artist who has his picture of his tattoo in his mind can now go on with the tattoo and finish it with all the shadings that has to be added. So that was a quick one in positioning. You don't have accept any compromises in the direction, or you can switch it, or all the things are done. And this is solid under the skin, so no worries at all. If you recognize that there is a little bit sticky, because the fixation is not that water soluble, it stays the longest. But there's a super easy way. You can use skin oil, just a little amount of skin oil in the paper towel, and remove the stickiness, or you just use Vaseline. Just go over it for cleaning. And then you wipe away. And the skin is not sticky anymore. And oh, sorry for wiping. And then you can give it a go. And then you can finish the tattoo.
Cool.
Yeah.
With the additional adhesive, is it less painful because you have a layer there, or is it
I was
the
gonna say,
same
like, when he was
amount of pain?
wiping, that's everyone's least favorite part. Yeah, it's not as bad because that layer.
There's a
is
layer
there.
on it, yeah. I'm just more dapping, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah. So I think it's, as you can see, due to the redness of the skin, which is very light, I think it's not that hard for the skin. Yeah. It's could be that it's more sensitive, yeah. Yeah. But I won't take that as my attribute, because I don't really know there are sensitive skins.
Exactly.
And I don't think you can make a level out of it. General level out of it. But for people who have received huge tattoos from me, and of course sometimes I'm a hard wiper, they say, hey, since you use StandStill, I'm not in that pain anymore. Please use the new technique, because I have felt more comfortable when you do all the lines and stuff, because usually I'm always afraid when you come with the towel and say, oh, no, let's continue tattooing. Yeah. Okay, what I need now is, of course, I can't send her home with an unfinished tattoo. So I will do a little bit of shading so that she can have a good tattoo for her kids, which is obviously, I don't think this is the most interesting part for it. You can also, of course, just make your impressions a little bit settle. It will take me like half an hour. And after that, when it's okay for you, I will do another demonstration of more complex pictures on the skin. This is going down and upwards, and you're often losing all the details in the middle. When it comes to the middle of the elbow, you often, because it's smudgy and it's a little bit wet, and still because you want to transfer everything in the skin, it's very hard to keep the details, to keep it really good projected. So with the StandStill transfer film, this is quite easy, and what I want to show you is it is a really stable and very usable film, because you can scratch it really hard and the projection will be still super clean and super precise. There's no smudging, no wiping away. It's stable until you activate it, and then you can actually tattoo through it. So for placing an elbow, I'm just guessing how much I need, but I just want to show you how easy it is to aim the middle point. So for now, if it comes to an elbow or to other movable body parts like the kneecap, you just need a first disinfection a little bit. This is common to make this the skin dry. And most of the time, when you use StandStill, to find the perfect spot to place it right in the middle of the elbow, you just need like a magic marker, like a permanent marker. Do you have one here around? Oh yeah, there we have one. The easiest way to find right in the middle is just to not extend. This is to bend the elbow. Just make one point that you can see it. So there should be the middle, right? Then you relax your arm. Don't what is that?
Don't fully extend.
Don't fully
Yeah,
extend.
don't fully extend it. Just keep it relaxed. And you add some adhesive spray. Make sure that in all the lower spots and all the upper spots there is enough adhesive. And it will go down here, but if there's another tattoo coming in, you will, because it's see-through, directly see the moment when the two things collide, so you know exactly where to tattoo and where not. Okay, now stand like this, and it's super easy and super quick. Can you move one step forward to here? Yeah, so that's perfect. You just let the client fold, no, extend, not extend, what is it?
Bend.
Bend a little bit, just a little bit, so you can have a clear view. And then you just search for the middle point. You start from here, you go over to here. Because it's flexible, you can lay it very smooth and without any cracks on the client's skin. You just bend it a little bit. Yeah. And as you can see, even all the fine details are projected. There is no irritation in it. And once you activate it, once this one happens, of course most of the tattooers, because they're used to the other stencil, they can improve.
Yeah.
But now, if you want the perfect projection of it, you just lift it up a little bit, stretch it, trying to put it perfectly on the elbow. You can check it if it's the middle of the elbow. Once you activate it, it will be super flexible. You can place your client easy on the bed, and then bend the elbow a little bit, because I think this is the perfect condition of the skin to tattoo like dot work through it.
Yeah.
And now you can see it just works its way.
Wow.
It stays solid on the elbow. You can see where the other tattoo begins, where the other tattoo ends, where you have to tattoo. All the tiny lines are projected. You know exactly where to put your dots. And after you have done all the outlines, all the concept, you just peel it off. And that's it. And then you're done. And if you want to try a new design, or the client is not satisfied with the design, maybe because it's too tiny, it's just to show the possibility that now the stencil has no limits regarding the details.
Yeah.
You can project close to anything, you know. So this is a major advantage in this game. As you can see, you can tattoo through it like I did with the flowers. And if you concentrate and you stay focused on your workflow, Vaseline, project the film, then do your dots, dry dapping it, go to the next layer, go to the next layer. It's super easy. What I prepared also is, first I want to get rid of the adhesive with the oil. Otherwise maybe she gets stuck in her own car. We don't want that. Yeah. And also I just want to say, this is not harmful or anything. If you have something for a couple of minutes or a couple of hours on your body, it's totally harmless. So it's nothing to worry about. Even the adhesive spray is tested multiple times and for many, many, many decades in physiotherapists, in small wound dressings and stuff. So it works very well in the medical field. So we thought if it's good for a sensitive spot or a sensitive environment like that, it should be good to tattoo. So, but we also let it classified. We have the patent process where everything is checked, and that should be good for that. Okay, I can show you maybe what is also a very impressive thing is the last one for today, if it's okay.
Yeah.
Like tiny details on structures where you normally can't fold paper around it. Let's say she wants like a paisley Indian style ornaments that beginning on the top of the hand and going seamless over on the fingers. I know she has tattoos, yeah. But if you ignore, if we just for a second ignore that and try to get the idea, there is a client who wants continue their ornamental sleeve with tiny like henna tattoo style ornaments which are going all over her outside hand up to the fingers. This is just the same procedure, but the effect is also very impressive. You have to make sure to always make sure to make the solid workflow, clean it up. Okay, now this guy, the skin is dry. Then you use, I will cut that for a moment so we don't have to use here the whole concept which I printed out. As you can see, the details on it, if you want to tattoo this later maybe with a single liner, this is totally possible. Just fine line and very detailed lines on somebody's hand or somebody's neck, doesn't matter. You can also use the, and I want you to remind what would you do if you have the conventional paper right now. Okay, just seamless pattern, very very fine line, beginning from the back of the hand going over all fingers. We won't over how you call it, übertreiben. We won't take it too far.
Overwork.
Yeah, and we won't take it too far tonight. I can include the thumb, but I will try to make this and this. And for the conventional paper, this should be a challenge, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You just point the middle. Use the adhesive. Also the fingers. So now you don't have to be afraid to mess it up because you can try it again. You can reapply it without cleaning. You just make a, yeah, that's perfect. You search for the middle. This should be good. If you want to establish it, you can make a clean line over here. Yeah, that's perfect. So you want this one right on the spot in the middle here. On the fingers. This one maybe here in the middle of the finger. Let's do it this way, all right? So then you cut off the film which you don't have to use, which is too much. We go until here. Then you separate the fingers. I've done it already.
Really?
It worked. I wouldn't show it if it's not working. Yeah, it was a very good moment because I saved maybe an hour. If it really goes wrong, maybe 2 hours. Yeah. I know, just remember if a client shows up and wants a concept like that, what's going on in your mind, how to do it, how to, you could tattoo it, but you're not able to transfer it, you know? So I'm giving just the chance to make concepts possible, which your skills allow you to tattoo, but the limitation of the conventional transfer paper has its high, reached its limits, you know? Yeah. So as you can see, it's always very important to apply good adhesive everywhere you want to place the stencil, that it doesn't come off.
Yeah.
But once you have, you can reapply of course, but once you have a good fixation, then you go over to the disinfection spray. If the fingers here, because of the adhesive, they are glued a little bit together, you just need Vaseline. Just put a little bit of Vaseline here, and they can move the fingers without any. So, when you press it on again, you can still remove it, still replace it, as long as there is adhesive. I didn't put enough adhesive here, but I think you get an idea of what I mean. And if you see the middle line from here going over the finger, going right to the fingertips, you can correct it still if you want to make it a little bit more to the left or to the right. You still can correct it. You have to reapply a little bit of adhesive, but then it should be perfect in the middle of the finger, and you're ready to go.
Wow.
That's it. Even the tiniest structures, this is right in the middle. You can cut a clean border here and continue with the ornament borders if you want to.
Yeah.
You can mirror it, and what is also possible, I just want to show a quick demonstration of that. If once the film is activated, it's a little bit more sensitive to peel it off. As you can see, now it rips. But if you take your time and make it really, really soft, you can still use it. So if you take your time and make it like a soft pull and taking care of it, it is still usable. And you don't have to clean, you don't have to produce new stencil, which is obviously not the best example right now because I pulled it a little bit too fast. But if you take your time very slowly, you will see that you can peel it off, the whole thing, and you don't have to reproduce even, you know? And then if the client says, okay, I want it like mirrored, on the other hand, you can also use the other side of it, you know? It's still working, okay? If you apply enough adhesive spray again, you can still work with it and mirror it without reprinting a new concept on the conventional paper. So that's that. Yeah, works for everything. It's just some advantages.
Yeah.
You, as a tattooer, you will get an idea how to find your own new horizons with it. You know, you have to try. You have to be creative. You know, this is just a new tool to giving you opportunities, being creative.
Yeah.
Thinking outside the box.